All right, Shalom. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Kakadash. I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone for teaching his word in truth and in sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And it's the brother Kabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another live lesson. Today's live lesson is entitled VOCAB MALONE, the Israelites did. Is entitled VOCAB MALONE, the Israelites did forget themselves. You know, and this video was inspired by a video that I saw Apostle Kabar did. That I saw Apostle Kabar do on you know, Israelites being scattered, and basically debunking what this guy VOCAB MALONE said about the Israelites when the Yashwamba asked him, did the Israelites forget who they were? And he said no. But then he'll say that the Israelites are scattered in all these different, they're scattered all around the world. But the only people right now, besides the true people, the Israelites, the true people of the Lord, the real Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American men, women, and children that are awoken to the fact that they're the Israelites. The only people on earth that call themselves God's people are those Amalekites, the so-called white man living over there in Israel today and around the world, chiefly in these European countries and even America. And they're in high position, they're ruling. And according to them, let them tell it, they always knew that they were Jews. They never forgot who they were, according to them. And they're staking claim to a land that doesn't belong to them, to a heritage, a nationality that doesn't belong to them. And they were taught this by their fathers, you know, and so they trick the whole world and having them believe that they are the Lord's people when in reality they're not. Okay. And VOCAB MALONE, like Elder Yashwamba said to him, why you mad at us? Why you coming over here trying to speak against us, calling ourselves the Israelites and bringing it out through the scriptures and showing you through faith, which he can't understand, that we are the Israelites. He has a problem with the sign. He has a problem, but he don't have a problem with those Amalekites and their sign. Because them Amalekites got a sign too. He don't go to those, like Elder Yashua. And this was over a year ago when he had this encounter with the elders at GMS Dallas. But the point of the matter is that, you know, he thought that he was debunking us, but he won't go debunk the so-called Jew. He won't bring that up. Are we still live? Yeah, I think we're still live. Yeah, it's still live. Anyway, he won't come up against them, but he'll come up against us. It's crazy because on a comment board, the brother I'm a Na'ah Yasha Allah said it's 5:30 a.m. Let's get fed, and that's not on here. When I'm looking on my phone, I can't see it on my phone, but I see it on the screen anyway. It's all good. The point of the matter is that what VOCAB was doing was basically trying to make this salvation for everybody. And salvation is not for everybody. Salvation is only for the Israelites. You know, and I don't care how much you call yourself a Christian or a so-called apologist, that's not going to give you that blessing. You're not going to get into that unless you're an Israelite. And then on top of that, in order to make it on the first go around, you got to be an Israelite an elect of the Israelites, man. So you got to be an elect Israelite to even make it. Okay. And so I just wanted to bring some proof out in this video that you see right in front of you about how our people are scattered amongst these different nations, man. Chiefly, we're going to focus on Elam, the so-called East Indian. You got Israelites that look like so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, and you got Israelites that look like straight up East Indians, man. All right? But we're just going to focus on a group right now called the Siddhis, okay, and they live in India. They get treated like shit, okay. They're Israelites, and it's going to show you how the Indian government used them for their God-given talents, man. Okay, their God-given natural ability, man. Okay, because our people have a natural ability higher than sports. But see, the only time these heathen nations ever dealt with us is the only time these heathen nations ever dealt with us is in cases that it was advantageous for them. If it wasn't advantageous for them, they weren't rocking out with us, man. And so in this case, you're going to find out, you're going to see how these nations spoiled us, man. You know, real quick, this is Deuteronomy 30:7. It says, "In the Lord thy power, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, will put all these curses." Oh, Salaki, this is not what I wanted. Salaki. This Deuteronomy 7:6. "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, thy power. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." Okay. You know, when you look in the slave Bible too, I think this was even taken out. This was omitted, not omitted, was taken out out of the slave Bible because they didn't want Jake to have no connection to our power. When ultimately during that time, because beyond slavery started here in America in the 1600s, we were already neck deep in the slavery and the slave trade, which we're gonna get into that, because that's how a lot of our people ended up over there in East India and in Saudi Arabia. Beyond the fact that you already had Israelites living amongst them too, because our people been in East India, but then a fresh crop came over more when they had that so-called Arab slave trade, which they call it the Trans-Saharan slave trade. Okay, and they were putting Israelites in hardcore slavery. But the Lord made us, going back to the scripture, the Lord made us a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth, man. And when we fell, these nations, they were happy. And then our people were suffering curses living over there in this country. So let me play this real quick. Yeah, so the guy said he had to fight for his rights to be considered an Indian, but they don't realize that they get even angrier. Yeah, and that's how we feel even here in America. And these are clearly Israelites.
पहली बार जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स जो आए थे अपने गांव, हम लोगों को दौड़ाए.
So it says the first time the Indian government came to their village was the access to run, throw, and jump. And why is that? Because our people are special people. We're peculiar people. We are people with God-given talents. And these heathen nations like Edom, Esau, and Ammon, and Elam, just to name a few, and they use our people to basically bring them recognition. And that's another way these people are blessed, because our people are scattered amongst them. But that word for special in the Hebrew, the word special in the Hebrew is sagala'ah, and it says possession, property, valued property, peculiar treasure, treasure, okay, meaning to shut up, wealth, closely shut up, a jewel, a peculiar treasure, proper good, special, because these heathen nations, they're not proper good, and nor are they special, man. And you're gonna find out right here.
करवाए और जम करवाए, तभी हमको समझ में नहीं आया कि क्या करवा रहा है, क्यों करवा रहा है.
Since 1900, India has never won an Olympic medal in track and field. The Sports Authority of India believes passionately that India can win an Olympic gold, that talent does exist in the country. Only it must be discovered, nurtured, and trained. For this purpose, the Special Area Games project was set up,
यशया जी ने एक्चुअली सिद्धि बच्चे के लिए ही ये प्रोजेक्ट डालने का ये कारण है कि ये जो है अफ्रीकन मूलवासी है और अफ्रीका से
And that African lineage was really Israelite lineage. We're gonna get into it. It had nothing to do with him. That came from the Israelites that were living and that were dragged from sub-Saharan Africa, which is West Africa, and sit over there to India, man. It says in their performance of African origin athletes on a world stage, and that when it says African origin athletes, it's talking about Israelites, man. When you look at best runners, the list of the best runners, the best track and field runners, those are Jakes, those are Israelites, man. They're not Edomites, unless the Edomites forged the records and cheated. But namely, they're pretty much Israelites, man.
आज वर्ल्ड स्पोर्ट्स एरिया में जो उनका जो परफॉर्मेंस है वो बहुत बढ़िया है। इससे है ना गवर्नमेंट को भी लगा कि ये जो अफ्रीकन पावर जो है ना ये अपना स्पोर्ट्स में इस्तेमाल करके हम भी ऐसा मेडल लेके
medals on a world stage so they can be recognized.
1989 में जो सिलेक्शन हुआ मैं उस रात सोया नहीं।
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that out real quick because I want to get into the lesson. But this shows you that our people were scattered across the world and they forgot who they were. When all of this happening, our people were being pulled into a slave trade, man. And these are cities, right? Check this out. Check this out. This is the city, right? It says population in Pakistan, India. Okay, and it says right. I'm gonna go down right here. It says the conflicting hypothesis on the origin of the name city. And it says similarly, another term for cities is Habishi, Hab or Habshi, is held and derived. I'm sorry, let me read up. I'm sorry. It says there are conflicting hypotheses on the origin of the name Sidi. On theory, it is that the word derives from Sahibi, an Arabic term of respect in North Africa, similar to the word Sa'id, modern India and Pakistan. A second theory is that the term Sidi is derived from the title borne by the captains of Arab vessels that first brought Sidi settlers to India. And we wasn't settling, we were slaves. And these captains were known as Sayyid, okay? And then right here, it says, and Akashi Khan, an African prime minister in 1650. This is an Israelite man, because the Hamites don't look like this. The Hamites never wore beards on their faces, ever. They didn't do that. That's an Israelite thing, okay? And I know VOCAB might see this video, all these guys preaching, because I see the fringe right here. But no, this is an Israelite, man. These are traits of the Israelites. Some Hamites never wore beards on his face, man. It says right here, the first CDs are thought to have arrived in India in 628 AD at the Barak port, formerly known as Broak port, right? Several others followed with the first Arab Islamic conquest of the subcontinent. All right. It says the latter group are believed to have been soldiers with Muhammad bin Qasim Arab army and were called Zanjis. Some cities escaped slavery to establish communities in forested areas, which you just seen. We just showed you an example of that. Some also established small city principalities in Jari and in the Janjiri state islands, man. All right. This is in the Qatar as early as the 12th century. Former alternative name Janjiri was Habshan, i.e. the land of Habshish. All right. And so these are Israelites, man. Look at that child, man. That's a little, if she was in America, she would be called a Negro girl, man. Easy. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Even him, a Negro man. Look, these are Israelites. These are not Hamites. These are Israelites, man. You see? And we were scattered. The reason why you see our people scattered, and then you got Israelites that don't even look like Israelites. You got Israelites that look like these heathen nations, man. Why? Because we were scattered amongst these nations. And when we were scattered amongst these nations, we forgot who we were, man. That's why you see Jake worshiping all these different idols, man. They're into these world religions, man. It says right here, it says, see, these are primarily Muslims, so them Arabs. And why are they Muslims? Because they were captives to them Arab slave traders, man. Through some, it said, although some are Hindus and others belong to the Catholic Church. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, in all the different nations, from one end of the earth even unto the other, north, south, east, and west. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. You see? And that's a curse that was given to our people. Okay? You got Northern Kingdom Israelites scattered across the world, just like you do the Southern Kingdom, man. But today I'm just focusing on the cities, man. All right? And this was a curse that was given to our people. Now, you bring this up to a so-called Jew, he or she is never going to answer this. When did this happen to the so-called Jew? Because according to them, they know who they are. But they can't tell you what happened to the so-called 10 lost tribes. But but they always been Jews coming from the Khazarian Caucasus Mountains, the Khazarian Mountains and the Caucasus Mountains. In reality, them people are converts, man. But see, VOCAB alone, you're not gonna come up against these people. Let me see. You're not gonna come up against these people. You'll never see VOCAB alone scream and holler, make videos, make interpolations, and make mockery of these people, of the so-called Jew. You'll never hear him say that, but he'll do it to us. You see, he'll do that shit to us, but he won't do this to these people. When these people are the fucking perpetrators, these are the fraudsters, man. Guess what? You got our people scattered amongst them too, that look like them too. See, that's something that he can't understand. You see, because these people not worshiping Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. I don't care how much they call themselves Jews. I don't care how many bar mitzvahs they have. I don't care about none of that shit. These people are not worshiping Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the God of the Israelites, man, at all. But again, VOCAB alone, you won't come up against these people and cuss them out and tell them how they ain't the Jews, how they don't go back. You see? Or how can you prove your lineage? You see? You will never do that. But you'll do that to us. You see? You'll do that to us. You see? But these people ain't a special people until the Most High. What name, even if you do name one of these people that came out and that were athletic, super intelligent, lively. Hey, you gotta actually, because it ain't a lot of them that do that. So you know what I'm saying? He might be a jerk, man. The way he acting. And I have seen Hasidic Jews and non-worshiping Jews in the world that are actually jakes, man, that are good at certain things. They got that flavor, man. You see? But the point of the matter is that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua scattered us to these different nations, man, as a curse for our disobedience. You see? And they worshiping gods which they haven't known. And it didn't just happen by the hands of the so-called white man. This shit happened by the hand of all these different nations, man, including the so-called Arabs, man. Now, I looked this up, the Arab slave trade. It says the Arab slave trade is an intersection of slavery and trade surrounding the Arab world and the Indian Ocean, mainly in Western and Central Asia, Northern and Eastern Africa, India, and Europe. And you had Israelites scattered mainly on the West Coast in the center of Africa, but the Southwest. But you also had Israelites in East Africa too. You got Israelites among Kush. A lot of them Eritreans are Israelites, man. All right, and it says, so we know that slave trade affected India. It says the barter occurred chiefly between the medieval era and the early 20th century. The trade was conducted through slave markets in these areas, with the slaves captured mostly from Africa's interior. Now, I looked up the interior of Africa, right? Well, mainly what they were describing. So it said the Trans-Saharan, right? And when you look at where the Trans-Saharan is located at, this is the Trans-Saharan right here. The Trans-Saharan trade in the Middle Ages. The rise of the Ghana Empire, which those are Israelites, now called Mali, Senegal, and southern Mauritania, parallel the increase in Trans-Saharan trade. Mediterranean economies were short of gold but could supply salt. Taken by places like the African salt mines in Tagaza, whereas West African countries like Wangara had plenty of gold but needed salt. The Trans-Saharan slave trade was also important because large numbers of African Israelites were sent north, generally to serve as domestic servants or slave concubines. That's what they did to our women. The West African states imported highly trained slave soldiers. Okay, it has been estimated that from the 10th and 19th century, some 6,000 and 7,000 slaves were transported north each year. Perhaps as many as 9 million slaves were exported along the Trans-Saharan caravan route. Several trade routes became established, perhaps most important, terminated in Morocco and Africa in the north. There are the North African cities. Berber traders had increased contact with Islam, encouraged conversionism, and in the 8th century, Muslims were traveling to Ghana. Many Ghana converted to Islam, and likely the empire trade was privileged as a result. Okay, so this is the Trans-Saharan slave trade, and look where it went to. It went from the west, okay, because this is called sub-Saharan Africa, the west of Africa, because you have the Sahara Desert up on top of it. And they came from here and they went east. They went east, you see? They went east. And that's how a lot of our people ended up in what? All up in East Africa, all up, which you already had Jake there, but still a lot of them ended up there, and a lot of them ended up in Arabia, and a lot of them ended up in what you call India today. All right. This is the brother Amanai Yasha'Allah. I'm going to put some of his scriptures out. Right here, Jeremiah 12:7. It says, I have forsaken mine house. I have left mine heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hands of her enemies. In which that's the dearly beloved are the Israelites, man. And who are our enemies? These heathen nations, man. These different nations, including Elam. All right. It says, I have forsaken my house. I have left my heritage. I have left my heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of their enemies. My heritage unto me is as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field come to devour. Right. And so our people look like a myriad of these different nations, man. We don't just look like Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Latinos, and Native Americans. You got Israelites that look like East Indians, Edomites. You got Arabs, Chinese, Japanese. I'm just using certain terms. But you got Israelites that look like all these different nations. All right. And that's why when you read in Revelation, this is what something that this guy, VOCAB Malone, couldn't get. Revelation 7 and 9. This is the reason why we have Israelites coming out of these different nations. This is Revelation 7 and 9. And after this, I beheld, lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations, kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, man. And these are Israelites. And I think let me see something, because I know Apostle Hart taught us that you can link this up with Revelation 6. But let me get it. Let me see real quick. I think it's 6 and 5. Let me see. Revelation 6 and Salaki, just bear with me. Just bear with me. Yep. Let me read this. Revelation 6 and 10. Revelation 6 and 10. All right. It says, and they cried out with a loud voice. Matter of fact, let me read up. Revelation 6 and 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. It's the elect. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren, that they should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. Okay. And these are Israelites, man. Because when you read the Incline notes, yep, it says it right here. Open 16 and the word of prophecy. I thought it was a clear view, but I know for a fact that these are Israelites, man. This is not heathens. Those people in those white robes are Israelites. But let me finish breaking this down. When you go back to Revelation 7 and 9, and if he see this video, he'll be like, oh, see, they couldn't even give it. No, I'm breaking it down correct, bro. I know what I'm talking about, man. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Just bear with me, guys. So I'm trying to fix it. Right? Back in Revelation 7 and 9, those people that's in those robes are Israelites, man. So 7 and 9. And after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. And those are Israelites, man. Well, how do we know that these people are Israelites? Because remember, Deuteronomy 28 and 64, we were scattered amongst these different nations. Now, the kidney shot to that is Ezekiel 37 and 21. And say unto them, thus saith, matter of fact, yep. And say unto them, behold, Ezekiel 37 and 21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. You see? That's a kidney shot right there. Because it said that the Israelites were scattered into all these different lands. Now, you think that all these nations and the Israelites that are scattered amongst these nations, I'm sorry, you think that the Israelites living amongst all these nations scattered, that they continue to abound their ways? No, they forgot who they were. Their fathers, we laid down with the women of these different nations, had children with them. The kids can even look like the mother, and they come out and they start worshiping the gods of their mothers, and then they have children, and they have children, and so forth and so forth. Those sons and those sons and those sons have children, and guess what, man? We forgot who we were, man. It's another kidney shot. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Ask VOCAB MALONE to break this down. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Now, when Jeremiah lived and died, he knew he was an Israelite the whole time. He didn't lose his heritage. Even when he was in, our people were carried away in the Babylon, we were still following our ways, man. You had Israelites going off, but our heritage that was given to us, we knew we were Israelites. The only captivity we ever been in that we didn't know we were Israelites was this last one, man. This one that we're in right now. So that heritage that our people inherited was what? Was our nationality, man. Knowing who we were. Heritage, Naka'al, divide possession, to inherit it, to give inheritance, to be made possessed. Right, we lost that. And even after Babylon was captivity, Cyrus the Great, through the spirit power of Yahweh Shema Shai, what allowed us to go home and rebuild our temple, man. You see? So our people knew who we were. There wasn't no question whether we were Israelites or not, man. The only time that happened was when we came back in this reincarnation here. And guess what? Jeremiah is back. And Jeremiah didn't know he was an Israelite until he woke up. You see? So when you look at how our people were scattered amongst this world, you see that you got Israelites all over, man. And even during the time of the apostles, you had Israelites living in these different lands, man. And this is Acts 2 and 5. And there were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So you had Israelites, devout Jews, because you had Jews, Judites, Levites, Benjamites living in other lands, man. And you know they had children. And that's why eventually they lost who they were, especially during the Hellenistic period, which we're going to get into that, Lord willing. Let me pull this up real quick. During the time of Antiochus Epiphanes, okay, he made it a law that you couldn't follow who you were. He did that. That's why he gonna pay for that shit too. What was that? First one. I'm sorry, just bear with me, brothers. Yeah. First Maccabees 1 and 41. First Maccabees 1 and 41. Probably could start at 40. I'll start at 41. First Maccabees 1 and 41. And this is something that VOCAB Malone doesn't read. He don't believe in the Apocrypha, according to him. But he's supposed to be some biblical scholar. Okay? And that's why we say this ain't about color, skin color. This is about our nationality. This is about who we are. You know, you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have Israelites looking like other nations, man. Why? Because we've been scattered amongst them nations, but that don't stop us from being Israelites, man, and inheriting blessing and wish Yahweh Shema Shai is giving us, which is the kingdom and forever lasting life, man. Okay? This is first Maccabees 1 and 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to the whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers into Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. So when you do that, guess what you're doing? You're leaving your heritage, man. And you becoming what? Hellenized. You becoming Hellenized. And when my people became Hellenized, they forgot who they were. Hey, Timothy's father was Hellenized, but his mother, she followed the customs of the Israelites because she was an Israelite. They called her a Jewish, but they called him a Greek, man. Okay, let me see something. Let me see something real quick. Salaki, just bear with me, brothers. Yeah, right here. Check this out. The Antiochus the fourth, because that's who we talking about right here in the book of Maccabees. We're talking about this Antiochus. It's Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth. All right, and it says Antiochus the fourth Epiphanes was a Hellenistic king. Hellenistic was the Diadochi were the rival generals of families and friends of Alexander the Great, who fought for control over his empire after his death, which all this is written in the scriptures. Okay, and it says the wars of the Diadochi marked the beginning of the Hellenistic period from the Mediterranean Sea to the Indus River. So what was happening during the Hellenistic period? Our people was forgetting who they were and following the customs of the Greeks, man. And we were called Greeks for a long time. You see, even during the time of Yahushua. All right. In Jewish tradition, Antiochus ruled the Jews from 175 to 164, 175 to 164 BC. He was remembered as a major villain and persecutor of the Jewish traditions associated with Hanukkah, including the Book of Maccabees, the scroll of Antiochus. Rabbinical sources refer to him as Harashah, the wicked. The Jewish Encyclopedia concluded that since Jewish and heathen sources agree in their characterizations of him, their portrayal is evidently correct, summarizing his portrayal as one of the cruel and vainglorious rulers who tried to force on all the people of his realm a Hellenistic culture. You see? And that's what happened when our people became Hellenized. Keep on reading. The true essence of which he can scarcely be said to have appreciated, whether Antiochus' policy was directed at extermination of Judaism as a culture and religion, though it is debatable on the grounds that his persecution was limited to Judea and Samaria. Jews in the diaspora were exempt. And why were they exempt? Because they were following these customs, man. You see? It says, and that was hardly ideologically motivated Hellenizer. It says, suggests that instead he was driven more by pragmatism and needed to gather income, which he was a greedy bastard, man. He was a greedy bastard. And that's why the Lord took his ass out. When you read the book of Maccabees, you can read about this devil's death, man. You can read about his death. You see? But anyway, he was the reason why. He was the reason why. And that's why the Maccabees had to go around and try to clean up his mess. You know, was forcing our people to return back into the ways of Yahweh and Yahweh, to follow the customs of our forefathers, man, and not the customs of the heathen. Because you had Jake doing that. You see? You see, and this is proof. But yet, VOCAB Malone, the scholar that he's supposed to be, this nigga, what is Edomite, you know what I'm saying? Until further notice, this Edomite, you know, he gonna say that we didn't forget who we were, man. You a goddamn lie. You a liar, man. You a liar. And the video that you posted up, you a lying more than once in that video, man. And like Elder Apostle Hart said, yeah, the dude knows scriptures, meaning he know where to go, but he don't know the deep understanding of these scriptures, man. He can't see it. Everybody will accept these Hasidic and these so-called white men as being a Jew, and never, the only ones that's refuting that is the real Israelites. Our voice is muted in this society. Nobody wants to listen to us, but you'll listen to the so-called white man. You see? Show you that you don't have no understanding. Let me read this. Hosea 1:10. The brother, one of the brothers posted it up. Hosea 1:10. The brother Hagam Ban Yahweh Ban Yasha'Allah, Hosea 1:10. It says yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place it was in that place that it shall come to pass that in that place it was said unto them, ye are not a people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And what place is that? Here in America. Here in America is the only place, when you look at all the captivities that the Israelites were in, we knew we were Israelites, man. Even during the time of Antiochus, man. During the Greek captivity. Then the Roman captivity. Okay? And then slowly but surely, we started losing it. The more Hellenized we got, we started picking up other cultures and shit. But mainly that Greek culture. And then we had children, and we weren't teaching them the ways. We weren't teaching them that they were Israelites. We were teaching them that they were Greeks or that they were Romans. Right? I mean, you still had pockets of our people that knew who we were, going back during the time of Yahushua. You had the Jews that knew who they were, but then you also had Israelites that didn't know who they were. When you read 1 Corinthians 12:1, now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Ye know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto dumb idols, even as ye were led. So what made us Gentiles? Following after these cultures, mainly following after these gods and these idols, right? And when you look up that word Gentile, the Hebrew word there is ethnos, which is a multitude or associated with living together. A tribe, a nation, a group of people. This is referring to the Israelites. Whenever you mainly see the Gentiles in the New Testament, it's referring to the Israelites, man. That were what? That were following the customs of these other nations. This is another one. Hard hit. John, St. John, chapter 7, verse 35. 7, verse 35. 7 and 35. It says this. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go? This is talking about Yahushua. That we shall not find him. Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles to teach the Gentiles? You see, which Yahushua, he was talking about the Israelites here in North America. He came to the northern kingdom, man. But even the Jews knew back then you had Israelites scattered amongst these nations, dispersed amongst the nations. Let's look up that word dispersed in the Greek. And when you disperse amongst people, you forget who you are. That's why you got to be taught. You see, we had to be taught. We were Gentiles. We had to be taught. Okay? We had to be taught. All right? So that word diaspora.
Strong's G1290. Diaspora.
Right. Scattering.
Diaspora.
Scattering, dispersion of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. So if you living among the foreign nation, you don't know who you are. You weren't getting these Jews that knew the Jews that knew they were Jews. They weren't giving us any of the rights and heritage and inheritance that we were meant to get, because they looked at us like we were foreign people. It says Israelites dispersed among foreign nations, man. Of the Christians scattered abroad among the Gentiles. No, of the Israelites scattered abroad among the Gentiles, man. We were first called Christians in Antioch, man. You see? It's not talking about the so-called white man. It's not talking about the rest of these heathen nations, man. And the only thing that these heathen nations got is that our people are scattered amongst them looking like them, man. That's it. You see? Dispersed. So we know that word dispersed is talking about Israelites scattered amongst these foreign nations, right? Now, when you look up that word Gentiles, the word there is Hellenin. Why is it Hellenin? Because you had Jews that were Hellenized during the time of Antiochus IV and all the rest of them kings, man. You had Jews that were Romanized. A Greek, either by nationality, whether a native of the mainland and or Greek islands or colonies. In a wider sense, the name embraces all nations, not Jews, that made the language, customs, and learning of the Greeks their own. And that's what the Israelites did. We made the learning of the Greeks and their customs our own, when in reality, those customs were foreign to us, because we're the Israelites. We ain't supposed to be following after these nations, man. You see? I could bring a whole lot more out, but that's the point right there. That's the point right there. Our people were scattered amongst these different nations, and we still scattered even to this day. Well, let me get that before I end. Let me get that. This is Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. For I knew that they were, let me read this again. Let me start up at 27. This is Baruch chapter 2, verse 27. O Lord, our power, thou hast dealt with us after all the goodness, according to all the great mercy of thine. It says, as thou speakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write thy law before the children of Israel, saying, if you will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among nations, where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, wherever we will put slaves at, they shall remember themselves. Here, America is the land of our captivities, and we're remembering ourselves. Ask the so-called Jews, when were they in captivity and they started to remember themselves? They can't tell you, but we can. You got Israelites in Africa, Israelites in East India. You got Israelites in here in the Polynesian Isles, man. You got Israelites all over the world, man. And we remembering ourselves, man. Through what? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And I shall know that I am, and shall know that I am the Lord their God. See, Yahweh Shema Shai is our God. For I give them a heart and ears to hear. There's a heart. If you know who you are, you don't need eyes to see, a mind to understand, and ears to hear this word, man. You see? But we needed that because we were scattered amongst these nations. And it's clear as day. But VOCAB can't not see it because he is not a man of the Most High. He ain't no man of God. He's a scoffer. Okay? And it's evident. So I hope you brothers are edified. I hope you got an understanding of this. I hope that it makes sense. If you brothers, if it made sense to you brothers, hey man, we are the Israelites, man. And if we wasn't, this man wouldn't be trying to fight so hard to come against us, man. Because I guarantee you, when he come down with great wrath, they're not be coming at them so-called Jews, man. They're gonna be coming at us, man. And with that, all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Bahawah Kodash. I say double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim. Keep pushing, keep striving, and we're almost out of here. Shalom.